All right, welcome back to GMA3. As the political world begins to look towards 2024, Republican Steve Laffey, the former mayor of Cranston, Rhode Island, has officially announced his candidacy for president.
And he joins former President Trump in the race, with more names, of course, expected to throw their hats in the ring soon. So here with us to discuss 2024 is presidential candidate Steve Laffey. Welcome.
Thank you.
to see
so
you.
good to be with both of you.
It's nice to have you.
Congratulations to both of you for really good show.
Life
Thank
is
you.
good. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you've said that you believe the next president of the United States should be a financial expert.
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Because we have a financial crisis staring us right in the face. We've just crossed the public borrowing of $20 trillion. We're at $24 trillion. We can't take anymore. My party has been spending fortunately under Donald Trump, they overspent by $8 trillion in 4 years. Remember when Republicans went after President Obama for $8 trillion in 8 years? Much of this money's been wasted. Whether it's the corruption of the PPP program and so forth, $800 billion, and law firms getting $56,000, famous people getting money. It's corruption. And so we need someone who's a financial expert now, who has the business acumen, and been in, I fixed the city. We fixed a bankrupt city. So we've got to take this and go to the American people and say, listen, no one can just say things like, we're not going to touch Social Security anymore. I heard President Trump say it the other day. I saw Speaker McCarthy say that. That's fiscally so immoral. Listen, it's my campaign now, but it's really about the people who have kids or have nieces or nephews. We have taken so much money from the kids that they don't have a future. We see this with the jobs they can't get. We saw what the Fed Reserve did with the money, so people can't buy a house. Who got rich? Rich people. Who took it on the chin? The guy making $65,000 with a family of four. He can't take a $4,000 increase in energy costs. That's why I'm here. This is what I do. And we got to get the message out so we can fix this now.
In 2006, you made a bid for the U.S. Senate, but fell short in the primary. You blamed sabotage on the Republican establishment. What do you say to people who say this is a long shot for you, running for president?
Well, number one, I didn't just say it. I wrote a book through Penguin Books called Primary Mistake that proved that the National Republican Party made giant mistakes. And I sit before you as the only elected Republican to ever run for high office to be attacked by the Republican Party. So I've been through it. That's another thing about, and as far as long shot, listen, there's something, I have the qualifications. I have the only real qualifications. Look at my background in education. I taught the top finance course at the University of Rhode Island. I've educated my 6 children, public school, Catholic school, Montessori school, and I personally homeschooled them when my daughter at 18 came down with stage 4 neuroblastoma. Why would that not be okay for someone to come literally off a small farm to say it's time to fix this country once and for all? It can't be that Republicans hate Democrats. It can't be that Democrats hate Republicans. Why can't we find issues? I mean, we talked this morning. You lived in Jackson, Mississippi. We had an office there. We have a connection in the South. Your mother taught you how to read at an early age. You did it for your child. I have 6. We know that's true. We know that young people have to learn how to read at a young age so they can get ahead. And what have we done? So what I need is name recognition. You got it, and thank you for having me. But there's something called the internet also that works, right? So we can overcome that. What are the other people going to do? What are they going to say? I served Donald J. Trump for 4 years or 2 years. I said I'd never run against him, but here I am. Do we need more of that? Maybe it's a time for the emperor with no clothes, or the emperors with no clothes, or empresses with no clothes to be pointed out in a debate in New Hampshire one day. So we're going to take this message nationwide. And listen, you only want me when you have these kind of problems. It's a hard message. It's hard to tell people about Social Security, that we can get young people who are 20 a lot more money. We can give the money to the retirees who already have it, not change their program. No cutting for them. But someone 45 years old might get less under my program at stevelaffey.com. When you fix things, like you fix a carburetor, don't you pay money to do so? And listen, I had dinner with one of my section mates from Harvard Business School. Listen, I'm a public school kid. I went to Harvard Business School. I know what to do. And he was like, listen, Steve, I'll pay more. I just got to know it's fair for everybody. So we need a tax system that's fair, right? We need the Fed Reserve to change its ways. They can't print any more money. We can't take it out here. Look what they did to the middle class. Rich people, fine, they did great. What's $4,000 to them? Guy making 65, that's who I'm running for.
So you're obviously very passionate about this. You mentioned kind of the fighting between Republicans and Democrats, and even within their own parties, you see this fighting. What is your strategy for going up against former President Trump, who has the name recognition, the money, and all of that?
I think the strategy is simply this: where former President Trump did the good things, like what we think with judges as a Republican, I'll say great. You know, I watched him talk about alcohol use on TV, about a 15-minute segment. I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life also. We share that. You know, his situation with his brother Fred. But the things about saying things like, I want more of those negative interest rates, it's wrong. So we got to point that out. The amount of debt, the PPP program, signing off on all these things. It was wrong. It can't be done. It created the inflation through the Fed. I may be the only person running who understands this. This is my background. And that's what we need now. Not just a businessman, a financial expert who, by the way, my difference also is this. I always felt that President Trump, and I say this with all due deference, didn't know how to put the right people in the right job. That's what I do the best. Call the people at Morgan Keegan. Ask them, that's what I do. I get rid of people nicely that don't belong and put the right people that serve the American people or serve Morgan Keegan or serve the people of Cranston in the right job at the right time. That's my skill set.
And you talked about a family member dealing with serious health issues. How has that changed your perspective on health care?
Hugely. I mean, I've seen between $5 to $7 million of bills cross my desk that I didn't pay because I am blessed. Then I go to the Ronald McDonald House for a couple weeks at the beginning, and I see a lady who is from Montana who hadn't seen her husband in 6 months. I'm in Colorado. He's cutting wood or something up in Montana. She's got a 1-year-old. You spend enough time at a children's hospital where my wife and daughter went to live for a couple of years. That's why I started homeschooling kids, because I didn't want my 3 youngest to have to do something different. So that's why you haven't heard from me for a long time. But yeah, we need better care. And we need better outcomes. You didn't hear about my other daughter. My other daughter had a seizure problem that went on for 10 years, and because I moved to Colorado, after nearly being killed at Hasbro, my daughter Audrey, with a seizure, seeing 30 a day, you see them, and going to Harvard and Yale, only with better care and the best doctor in the world, Dr. Laffey, was she cured. We need every doctor to see that doctor. That's better care.
All right. 2024 presidential candidate Steve Laffey. Thanks a lot for being
Thank
here.
you so much for having me. God bless.
Of course. And up next, right here on GMA3, the educator provided inspiration for the ABC hit Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, revealing the character she resonates with the most. You don't want to miss this. GMA3 will be right back. Stay with us.